Aloha, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. It's Kenya Revolutionary. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. The topic today is, can Ruto turn around the economy? Can he turn around the economy? Let me post the link. An error card was this trade. Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me post the link here because I would like, if you'd like to join the discussion, you can join in by okay, there's something wrong with my thingy here. I don't know what's going on. There you go. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. Again, this is Kenya Revolutionary. If you want to join the discussion, please do join. That is the link. You can come in, discuss with me. That's the link if you want to join. So I will post it again on different whatever. It's on the YouTube comment section, or if you're watching it on X, you can find it right there on the screen. Just copy that screen, and you can get in, and we can have a discussion about if Ruto is able to turn around this economy. Okay, this Kenyan economy. He is in New York right now. I see he just posted something 38 minutes ago, posting Zelensky. This is what Ruto says in his last tweet, which was 38 minutes ago. In New York, United States, held talks with Ukraine President Zelensky, who committed to establishing a grain hub in the port of Mombasa to address food shortage in East Africa. First of all, number one, Mr. Ruto, before I even go further with this, why are you talking to Zelensky? Zelensky is a loser. He's about to lose Ukraine. Russia already took over. I think 80% of Ukraine is under the Russian command. This guy will be out by December, if not killed. Actually, he's not even in Ukraine. He doesn't even stay in Ukraine. He lives in Poland or somewhere else, stashing all the billions that Joe Biden is sending him, American taxpayers, okay? So meeting the Ukrainian president, William Ruto, meeting Zelensky is not, you don't get any cool points for that. Zelensky is a freaking loser, okay? And for those of you nut jobs who think that Ukraine is going to win the war against Russia, take a good look at yourself and question your sanity, because Putin is about to, Putin gave them time. It was like, hey, you guys surrender. I don't want to war with you. This is a deal that NATO reneged on. They were not supposed to arm Ukraine. They were not supposed to try to influence Ukraine and add them into the NATO fold, okay? That was the deal that was made between NATO countries and Russia back in 97, I believe, 97 or 99. But US and other NATO allies, Germany, England, United Kingdom, basically, they've encroached and violated that treaty year by year, okay, until it reached its fever pitch, and that's why we have this war. So I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Putin is evil. Putin is evil." Putin is not evil. I mean, he has his own problems like anybody else, but he wasn't the aggressor in this case. Okay, Putin was doing what is best for Russia, which is make sure that the NATO is not doesn't pose a direct threat to Russia, because if Ukraine becomes part of NATO, then legally NATO can actually arm Ukraine, which will be a direct threat to the Russian Federation. Okay, so President Ruto, you shouldn't be rubbing shoulders with Zelensky. Okay, Zelensky is a freaking loser. He's a comedian, and I'm not even making fun of him. He is a comedian by profession. Okay, so him you say you post something here 38 minutes ago, Mr. William Ruto, saying that Ukraine will be sending grains to Mombasa to tackle the food shortage issue. This is not the right move. Okay, first of all, Kenya has enough land, enough farmland, okay, farmable land, if you will, okay, where we can grow our own uh, more than enough food, whether it's you know uh, maize or any other stuff, wheat or whatever, okay. But the problem is, like I said yesterday, since David D gave us that revelation that we have been under SAP's structural adjustment program, we have to import these things. And if you've been following, if you've been following news very closely, remember just a few weeks ago I saw that in the news. I think it was Citizen TV or Nation, Daily Nation, okay, Kenya Daily Nation. There was an article where it mentioned that farmers in Rift Valley were complaining that the Monsanto Monsanto grains that they used to grow mahindi, maize, only grew. There was no full corn of maize. Okay, basically they grew that stuff. It grows like within 3 months or 2 months or whatever the case, because it's a GMO. But your mahindi, when it grew, there was no corn. Yani you cannot eat it. Like it didn't have any cob of that grain, so you can't even use it for consumption. And this is what I was talking about. That GMOs, and I've been singing this, that GMOs are not good. We know that worldwide. You do your own research. GMOs are not good for any human consumption. Okay, it's not good for your health. It's not good for the soil. And by the way, those seeds are patented. I just saw Ruto met Bill Gates yesterday. I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday. That's a no. I'm telling you, Bill Gates is not someone you want to meet. You want to rub shoulders with. This guy is a cornball. He takes advantage of African countries. He's breeding mosquitoes. He's injecting people with all sorts of things in Africa that leads to different diseases. So, William Ruto, you're making all the wrong moves, if you ask me. Okay, you need somebody to consult you. But I understand, as I've been preaching here over and over, you are a Western puppet. It's okay, but we need to get rid of you. We need to get rid of you. You need to change course, or we need to get rid of you. Okay. But anyway, let's go on. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, again, if you want to join, let me just put it again. Put to join in the chat, the studio, by clicking the link. Okay. Join in the studio by clicking the link. Here's the link. If you're wondering what's the link, there's the link. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the link. And there you go. Join the studio by clicking the link. All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, let's go through the tweets. Let's see what the tweet says today. Before I get to Ruto, let's start with the bull crop, okay? Let me go with the bull crop first, okay? Because that's what we are here for the bull crop, politics. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what other tweets are saying here. I saw, is it a Daily Nation or Standard of Kenya? They mentioned Miguna's tweet. And I want to read it to you very quickly, if you will allow me, if you let me. Well, I don't need your permission. I'm going to read it. Okay. Let me read it. So here Miguna starts, it's about, he makes a comparison between Canada and Kenya. Here's what Miguna said. The cost of labor is much higher in Canada than Kenya, yet nearly everything is more expensive in Kenya than Canada. This includes even products Canada imports like sugar, tropical fruits, and rice, yet these things are produced cheaply in Kenya. Why is packing, rent, milk, meat, chicken, and potatoes cheaper in Canada than in Kenya? The taxes in Kenya are too high and unsustainable. Moreover, compared to countries like Canada, where residents enjoy free universal healthcare, excellent infrastructure, and transportation networks, all courtesy of their taxes. Most of the triple taxation in Kenya go to individual pockets. These are not issues of global economic problems. It's because we have institutionalized and normalized corruption and accepted the degradation of our citizens. It's simple as that. Point taken, Mr. Miguna. Okay? That's pretty much it. While in the developed Western countries, you pay taxes and you see the services. Okay? Yes, there's cases of corruption here and there, but it's not as what do you call it? Prevalent as it is in Kenya. Okay? Kenya, you pay taxes, and individuals, they steal your tax money. You never see the services. For how long have we talked about electricity? Oh, we need to move electricity here. For how long have we talked about, oh, we need a new house here, we need to build a new road in this area, we need to build this and this and that? For how long? It's been, Kenya is how old? 50 years now? But we still talk about building roads. We're still talking about bringing steamer at certain areas. We are still talking about poor health facilities. We are still talking about zero poor service delivery. I mean, what's going on? Okay. I had Abdel Nasir, the Grand Mullah, though I think he's not the brightest, he's not the sharpest knife in the kitchen, but he was basically highlighting and admitted that the Ruto government is actually letting everyone down. Yes, he kind of mentioned that Uhuru, this problem started with Uhuru, but basically he said that the government officials, the system is broken, you know. And so what's the solution? Because we can sit here and talk about problems all day long and mention everything that goes wrong and do nothing. And this what frustrates me with every expert that I see come to a national television or a major platform. You ask them the question, they say, so what's the solution? How can we actually turn this economy around? Guess what they'll tell you? They'll tell you, oh, we need to cut down on spending. You know, we need to be frugal. You know, all these CSS should not be paid. They don't need new cars. With these trips that the president is taking, he should cut down on that. These trips that the CSS are taking, these trips that the deputy president is taking should be cut down. That's not a real solution. Okay? That's not a major solution. That's not a long-term solution to the problem. Okay? Traveling to other countries on official business as a person who's representing the country is not a bad thing by itself. And even the money that they spend there, even though they spend extravagantly, okay, that's not the problem. Yes, you can cut down on spending. Yes, I agree. The ministerial position, the CS position, cabinet secretary's position, okay, and the money that's allocated in these ministries, in this cabinet, in these dockets, we can cut down on that. All right. So it's a solution, but it's not a long-term solution. Okay, because cutting back is not enough to save enough money to pay the exorbitant amount of debt that we owe IMF. The number one thing that we should do, that's why this is so important. I cannot stress this enough. Number one thing we need to do is to audit. Ruto, if you're watching, I'm not so far away from you. Ruto, somebody tag Ruto into this. If you watch this live, tag Ruto if you see him. Let him read my lips here, because I have the solutions. But it will take some hard choices that he has to make. Okay? So the number one solution is audit the debt. I just saw on the Business Daily magazine, that mentioned that the Senate was trying to audit the debt to see how much we really owe. But Ichungwa, the raging lunatic, Ichungwa, Kimani Ichungwa, among his other corrupt, useless members of parliament, refused, because the only way we can actually know how much we owe is to do a proper forensic audit. Raila Odinga, I'm not blaming you on this, but I'm saying this: instead of wasting your energy having daily press conferences about nothing, about your next strategy, as if we care, how about you call in the next press conference and push for an audit of the national debt, all the money that we've been borrowing internationally and domestically? Can we audit how much we owe? Because that's a huge step. If you have a problem with spending in your house, you have borrowed, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's a car loan, whether it's a whatever, and your expenditure is out of whack, the number one thing you do before you do anything is you do a proper forensic audit and see where your money is going. And these loans that we have taken, how about we look at it and see from the previous administrations to the present one? I know it's going to be hard to do that, Mr. Ruto, because in your first 9 months, you've already borrowed 1.2 trillion Kenyan shillings and billions more following. So it's going to hit home. I understand that. It's going to hit home. But if you need to do this purge, if you need to do a clear out, if you need to do an audit, you have to start with yourself. I hear some people say, oh, we just need to see, if you're going to do an audit, we only have to go back as far as the last regime, Uhuru Kenyatta regime. No. Let's start with Kenyatta 1. Then go to Moi. Then go to Kibaki. Then Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. Then William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua regime. Every ministry, every cent, every shillingi that was spent, we should know where it went. Every loan that was taken, we should find out how it was approved. Who approved it? Was it done legally? How much was it? Did the money actually reach the CBK? And when it reached the CBK, where did it go? How was it spent? Who was the minister? Where was it? Show us the project that you say that you are going to use for the development. Let's see that. Let's do all this. We can actually choose one, dedicate 1 year to do these audits. And the Biwoks, okay, the Matiangis, the people we know who became overnight billionaires, dollar billionaires, okay, we shall ask him, how did you make your money? Let's see. In your docket, ask the minister, whether you are an interior secretary, whatever minister, internal security, like Matiangi was. Ask that person, how did you make that money? Let's see your businesses. Let's see the books. Open the books. We want to see. Everyone that has ever worked for government, we are not going to stop with only the executive. We are going to go to the governors, the former provincial commissioners, the chiefs. How did you make your money? We see you buying Mercedes-Benz. Huh? Sakaja, I want to talk to you for a minute. Before I go in, let me digress a little bit. Sakaja, are you listening? Sakaja? If you're Sakaja's friends, please tag him right now. I'm about to preach to Sakaja. Sakaja, the current governor of Nairobi. I want to talk to you, Mr. Sir. I saw a video. Yesterday, Sakaja posted a video of Babu Owino, the clip that showed Babu Owino shooting DJ Evolve. As you all know, the people who have been following politics, Sakaja has been going back and forth with Babu Owino, and I gave my misgivings about the situation. I feel that these are two grown men who actually acting like teenagers arguing online. Okay? But Sakaja, you're more disappointing than even Babu Owino. Babu Owino, I can see that. He's the guy coming for your seat. So any attention that you give him bodes well with him and his supporters. Okay? Sakaja, that move was the wrong move. Okay, yes, I'm not saying that what happened did not happen. Okay? And I'm not supporting Babu Owino by no means. I'm just saying. Sakaja, if you're watching, if you need consultation, please call me. I'm a little bit expensive, and you have to pay some huge cash down payment before we start. But I can consult you. I can help you with consultation because I see you need help. You do not attack your opponents the way you did. Number one, it's too early to even give Babu Owino any attention. What you need to be focusing on is service delivery and the promises that you gave Nairobians. If you promised to clean up Nairobi, let's see a clean Nairobi. If you promised to improve the transportation system in Nairobi, let's see it. Let's see something working. Your only strongest suit is about the food program with the kids, which is fine. I give you 3 points for that. 3. Okay? I give you 3 points. I had you on Spice FM, Mr. Sakaja Johnstone. You are, when you're asked about the noise, about the bars, and the churches that Kesha nights, okay, that make noise in residential areas. And your answer was terrible. It was actually appalling. Because basically your argument was you had a noise detector that you drove around, you send your kanjo, the police, whatever the case are, those people are police, who have this sound detector, and when it reaches a certain decibel, you shut down the bar the next day. Sakaja, let me help you. I'll give you help with that. In industrialized nation, what they do is this. Let's say Nairobi. Nairobi is a big city, and of course, there's a lot of youth who would like to enjoy the nightlife. They want to go to the bars or nightclub or all that stuff. Wanataka kutoka wachape moja mbili tatu, whatever the case, okay? Which is fine. That's humans are humans, okay? Right? There's nothing wrong with that. But what they do is this. Sakaja, listen to me. I'm helping you. When you're planning for a city, during the city planning, they usually separate residential areas with commercial areas or industrial area by having a park in the middle. Now, I'm not saying that you have to build a park between a residential area because it might not be a feasible thing because you have to move people and all that stuff, okay? But what you can do, Sakaja, listen to me, is that you can dedicate a section of the town. That's why if you go to any major city in the world, okay, there's a section in the downtown CBD. It doesn't have to be, everything has to be in CBD, but I'm just saying, I'm giving you an example because you want to make Nairobi have different boroughs like New York. But let me just tell you this. Let me help you. I'm giving you free of charge consultation. Sakaja, send that check. Okay? You make a place away from you. You come up with you pass it to the MCA. You will go to the what do you call it? Whatever assembly, county assembly. Yes, county assembly. Okay, and pass a motion, make it a law that all the nightclubs, all the industrial commercial places shall be in one side of the city. Okay, away from the residential part of the city. That's why you see if you go to, let's say, New York, if you go to Spain, Madrid, if you go to London, if you go downtown, you want to go to the club, there's actually a strip, a whole strip, where all it has is different bars, left and right. The street is closed, it's shut down. People just walk, and you go to a bar, you go to a bar on your left, a bar on your right. You can bar hopping. Okay, it's away from the residential places, away, miles away from residential places. So they can make as much noise as they want, because that's the adult playground. Okay, but this maneno that you say at you go get I'm doing good, Mr. AJ. Hey AJ, sorry. Hey AJ, I have to respond to AJ here. Thank you, Mr. AJ. I'm doing good. Like I was saying, this whole idea of having a machine that measures noise in residential areas to make sure that your bar is not as noisy is not something reasonable. Okay, go to the county assembly, come up with a law, and separate. If you want to have a bar, you can only have it in one section of the town, and if you away from the residential area. That's how they plan their cities in industrialized nations. Okay, Sakaja, you should know this. What I saw at Spice FM was embarrassing when I was looking at your answers. Number two, this whole idea of attacking Babu Owino by posting that video does not help you. First of all, if you want to attack somebody politically, you do not do it directly, especially if it's an issue like that. You don't post it on your X or Twitter so everybody knows it's you who posted it. Look at the campaigns. If you look at whether it's Obama's campaign or Trump's campaign or George Bush in 2000 against Al Gore, remember, there's always October surprise, a month before the elections. Okay, what happened? For those of you who remember Bush versus Gore, the Bush camp, the Bush camp, one of his people who are working for Al Gore, one of the people who work for Al Gore, they leaked information about George W. Bush DUI charge. Okay, they did that. It did not come directly from Al Gore. It did not come directly from Al Gore. It was one of his people, campaign people, who leaks that information. Okay, so Sakaja, again, I'm helping you. I'm giving you two nuggets. I tell you, I will be charging you for consultation. I can help you, okay? Because as it seems like, as it looks like now, you're actually empowering Babu Owino. But this is what you can do. Again, like I say, if you wanted to post that video, first of all, the timing is not correct. You still have 4 or 3 years to go before your term ends. Why are you posting why are you attacking him right now? Because if you're posting that video right now, by the time it's election time, where you're running for re-election for your Nairobi seat, whether you mention that shooting or not, everyone will be like, you know what, we already had it. It's not a big deal. We don't care about that. We don't care about it anymore. We've seen that video. We know about it. We've moved on. So it's about timing. But again, Sakaja, you are in your feelings because Babu Owino exposed you. He challenged you. Okay? You should have just answered him and leave it that. You don't even have to answer him. Don't even pay him attention. Let him rant, write whatever he writes in X, and leave it at that. Giving him the time of the day, you're giving him fame. He already have a buzz, and people are looking at him like whatever. Oh, to answer AJ. AJ, I've been around. I don't know where you've been. Nice seeing your tweet there. Thank you. I appreciate you. Mr. AJ was asking here, where have I been? Where you been? I've been here, brother. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but I've been here. I've been here, AJ. I'm not lost. But yeah. Anyway, like I say, Sakaja, you're making mistakes. Kindergarten mistakes, okay? You shouldn't be making that. But back to Ruto, okay? I'm losing focus. We're 30 minutes in. I have 30 minutes more. I don't know if I'm going to finish the hour, but I'm just depending on how this discussion go. Let me talk about Ruto again. Let's go back to Ruto. I digressed a little bit on Sakaja because Sakaja is a topic. He posted something so I had to respond to that. Not that I care much about Sakaja and Babu Owino, but that's just something I wanted to mention. Okay, back to Ruto. Ruto, this is what you need to do. Yes, number one, we have to do a forensic audit of how much debt that we owe. That's number one, because we have to figure out how much we owe people. Okay, you can't say you want to turn an economy if you don't know how much we owe. Okay, because the debt that we have, most of it was illegally acquired. So we need to find out which ones were illegally. And like as I said, I've preached this. I don't want to go back to it again. Whatever. Number two, strip down the tax thing, the high taxes. The high taxes, Ruto, this can be your downfall. The only fortunate thing is that the opposition that you have in Kenya, Raila Odinga, this octogenarian, he's losing his mind by the minute. So by 2027, I don't think he will even remember his name. So that's the advantage you have. But don't sit comfortable there, Mr. Ruto, because in the event, if this keeps on going on, you have all these CSAs, these ministers, these minions that are working for you, disrespecting the Wananchi by bragging, condescending comments they're making towards people who are actually raising concerns about this administration. If this keeps on happening, and as Abner Nasir mentioned at Spice FM yesterday or the day before yesterday, that this attitude that your ministers are exhibiting, the contempt in which they treat the common Wananchi who are suffering, if it continues, this can spark a revolution. It can spark a revolution because guess what? As the prices go up, this finance bill is kicking in, the pay slip is becoming thinner and thinner. People can't afford the basic commodities: food, gas, transportation, rent, the basic needs. If it goes on, Ruto, I assure you, somebody will rise. Because let me tell you, Raila might not be the guy running against you in 2027. But anyone bold enough to stand up and articulate these issues with enough buzz behind him, Ruto, you will be out. The only thing that can save you is if you pull, you use the voting machines to help you. It has happened. Go ask Tinubu in Nigeria. It has happened. It has happened in Venezuela. Okay? These machines can be programmed in such a way that they tabulate the results in favor of a certain candidate. That's the only way you can, whatever. And even if that happens, people are not stupid. Uhuru tried that in 2017. And guess what? Kenyan citizens almost lynched him if it wasn't for Raila who saved his ass. So again, Mr. Ruto, these taxes, you need to scrape them off yesterday. Number three, you have to ask yourself if you're ready to sacrifice for Kenyans. By that, I mean, are you ready to stand up against the IMF? Are you ready to stand up against the IMF? So what you can do, as I say, going back to number one, you can say, hey, listen, this is what my government is going to do. We are going to do our forensic audit for the rest of the year and find that money. Remember the Panama Papers? We know who owns what and the tax havens where people are stashing money, like the SGR money. Okay? Go for those trillions of shillings that are abroad, if not billions of dollars. Bring them back. Pay the IMF after doing, actually, before you even pay them, after you do this audit through the Senate, find out how much we owe, pay it back, and let those people who approve this loan illegally to pay it back, because the Constitution calls for it. Even the UN, there's the concept of the odious debt. You can do that. Okay? That's the only way. That's the only way, because we are not going to pay this money. We are not going to pay it. We will keep on being under IMF, and we'll have higher taxes, high prices in everything, and high import products, because we are under SAP. And there's nothing we can do. Now, if you break out of the IMF, now you will gain some support from your people. It will be hard because now you have to look to the East for help. The BRICS. You have to look at the BRICS for help. You have to make new friends. So the previous pronouncements you made about the Niger coups, you might want to take that back. Call them, tell them you're friends, start anew. You know, again, all this will not happen if we don't respect the rule of law. For any system to work, any system in any government to work, there has to be respect for the rule of the law. If somebody was found guilty of economic crimes, they need to be jailed. Ruto, are you willing to go this way? Are you willing to do that, to make that sacrifice? Because it will get you off the comfort zone, and you will be rattling some feathers, some big feathers, as you know. People who might organize a coup d'etat against you. People who can organize an assassination against you. Are you willing to take that route? Or are you okay with sitting comfortably as the president of Kenya while millions of Kenyans suffer, while you rub shoulders with losers like Zelensky, comedians? Zelensky is a comedian. And that's not an insult. That's just a fact. This is where we're heading, Kenya. What are the alternatives? It's either Ruto does those things that I mentioned, or we look for the opposition. And what do we have in the opposition? Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka. You really think these people will bring change? I'll let you answer that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I do not want to make this longer than it is right now. I was hoping to go 1 hour, but I will go through a few more tweets, then call it a day. Maybe it can push me to 1 hour, but let me just see what's going on out there. Okay, if there's anything interesting. I just read you a tweet by Ruto, him talking to Zelensky about Ukraine sending out seeds to help with food shortages in East Africa. Ruto, you can do better. That's all I'm saying. You can do better. All right, let's see some tweets here. What we got? All right, another tweet 20 hours ago from Miguna. He mentions Mungiki leader Maina Njenga claims that his abductors wanted to know conman Raila Odinga's plans. Laughable. Everyone knows conman Raila's plans. his spokesmen and cronies are on the payroll of the NIS. Woo, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But anyway, for those who are wondering what happens with Maina Jega was allegedly was said to have been abducted in Kiambu by some police or some unnamed people, but I'm not buying that story. It's nonsense. Maina Jega should be in jail somewhere in Committee, serving life with no possibility of parole. That's what I would do. He shouldn't be somebody who we are paying any attention to. That guy has killed a lot of people. You know, he's a vicious man that should not be in the public domain. He should be somewhere in a cage, being fed 1 meal a day and being jumped just for fun every day. Tortured. I'm for torture. I know people, a lot of people, I know the Geneva Convention are against torture. No, I support torture. People who kill people should be tortured to their death. We should torture. I am for torture. I support torture. If you kill people, especially these mass murderers, these people who have, killed a lot of people in gruesome ways, they should be tortured to death. I'm for torture. I'm for it. Okay? But anyway, let's go. Let's move on. All right. I'm going to go again. If Kenya has no say over the global economic situation, why did we have elections in August 22? Let me finish that. If an elected Kenya government has no power to alleviate the impact of the global economic conditions on Kenya, why did Kenya Kwanza Coalition tell the voters that it had better plans than Azimio to do exactly that? Are the chatterers abusing Kenyans know that there are elections coming up in August 2027? Will you campaign on the platform of doing nothing in the face of high cost of living? Will you tell Kenyans that the treasury will be run by the IMF and the World Bank? Good point. So here Muguna is basically saying, if you knew that the global economic situation or the IMF is running our government, why did you tell us that you have a better plan than Kenya, than Azimio? Again, I explained this point yesterday. Obviously, and I know what Miguna is saying here, but obviously, you don't expect Ruto to go out there campaigning saying that, hey, by the way, I'm very helpless. IMF is going to control the economy. So yeah, vote for me. It doesn't work that way. That's not just how it works. It does not work that way. Miguna, if you're watching, I'll correct you. It doesn't work that way. It's usually these guys sit down with Ruto. That's why you saw before the elections. You ask, let me just go back. Have you ever wondered why Ruto, any presidential candidate of Kenya, the main guys who are leading guys, they usually make a trip to Washington, D.C. before the elections. In the middle of their campaigns, they usually fly to the U.S. So basically, that's why they come here, they get interviewed by their colonial masters, they sit them down in a chair and tell them, hey, listen, this is our interest in the region. Okay? I'm just giving an example. We have 3 bases in Kenya. Okay? You're going to help us in our missions in Somalia, in Congo, So we want you to assure us that our base will remain there. Okay? We have several contracts that we have with the country of Kenya, where certain companies shall supply you with X amount of goods every year. Okay, so we want to make sure, Mr. Presidential Candidate, that when you get elected, this shall remain as it is. Okay, we don't want any surprises. Okay, and if there's any surprises, we are going to work against you. And you can figure out what that means. Okay? That's why you see Raila Odinga is always hanging out with Chris Coons, okay? The senator from Delaware, the CIA guy, right? And Ruto, you saw him. He's in Washington right now. He was in San Francisco begging Meg Whitman for cash and businesses. But of course, they have to dress it up and tell Kenyan people, oh, we are going to bring some electro stuff, energy. We are going to move away from fossil fuel. We are going to use electric cars. And these companies, when they come to Kenya, we shall give them tax breaks so they can employ our youth. And we shall have a wonderful economy, and we shall have Jeffersonian democracy in Kenya. Woohoo! No, the real story is this. You are under SAPS. You owe us some money. We shall flood your economy with our goods. You shall have to devalue your currency, and you have to use the dollar. If you want to buy anything, if you want to trade with any country, you have to use the dollar. If you want to buy any mafuta, you have to use the dollar. If you're buying from our company, if you're buying from our certain companies, you cannot subsidize for fuel. You cannot subsidize in these specific goods and services. That's how it works. So you cannot expect Ruto to go out there in front of people and say, hey, this is what's happening, vote for me. No, it doesn't work that way. And by the way, I made a video this way before Ruto became a president, and I said, I don't believe this guy. This guy does not, he's part of the Western puppet gang, okay? He's not going to bring any change. I say this. I was even shocked when I found out that Miguna was supporting Ruto. But I understand, because if I was in the same position that Miguna was, you never know. I would probably make a deal with Ruto for me to go back to Kenya and join my family. And, because, it's understandable. I get it. I can't fault you for that, okay? But the reality is Ruto is a puppet. I don't know how much I can tell you. It's just there, okay? So for Miguna to ask this question, I get it. They're no different. I told you, there's no difference between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. Because again, I'll give you a recent example that I talked about just before a few minutes ago. I said, ask yourself, why did Kimani Ichung'wah, who is Kenya Kwanza, right? Why did Kimani Ichung'wah, among others, stop the Senate from auditing the debt? But the same Kimani Ichung'wah will be the one raving in parliament, talking about how Uhuru Kenyatta and his regime stole a lot, billions of Kenyan taxpayers' money. Okay? But if you ask him, hey, how about we audit this money so we can hold Uhuru Kenyatta and those people who stole that money responsible, so we don't have to pay for it? Kimani Ichung'wah will say, no, you can't do that. But he'll be the first one on the floor in National Assembly complaining about how Uhuru Kenyatta plundered and cleaned out the CBK accounts, just like Amna Nasir was saying. So these guys are just playing game. It's a huge con game that's being played. That's why I'm saying the solution is to get somebody who is outside the political elites. Okay? Somebody who comes from outside, not part of this rotten gang of irredeemably corrupt politicians. Okay? That's the only solution. You cannot come from within. This Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, all these idiots, these guys are the same, okay? Kimani Ichung'wah, Aaron Cheriot, Chulugei, I don't know. They're all a bunch of shit lickers who do not know what to do. The only thing they know is to steal, rob, and talk shit as if they're helping Kenyans, but they're not. They're the same garbage. Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, all of them, Ruto, all of them. We need somebody from outside the Kenyan political elite to come and bring change, whether it's the guy from military, Ogola, I don't know his history, but somebody outside of that to come in and disrupt the status quo. Until we do that, we shall have all this play this game of musical chairs where we just change the position. It's the same shit, different day. Okay? Because like I said yesterday, this Ruto government is an extension of Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency. They came in, they pretended that, oh my God, we are shocked that Uhuru Kenyatta stole all this money. Then guess what they did? They just borrowed 1.2 trillion Kenyan shillings. And within 6 months, everybody has a new car, private jets, you name it, big houses, all that. Doing the same shit that the previous administration did. Okay? And they raised taxes. And part of the raised taxes that they're raising, like the housing levy bullcrap, that money will go to them. They will not build you any houses. Don't be fooled. Okay? But you sit there, like I saw Moses Kuri, just sit there and you clap when they speak in front of people as if it's something. That's what gets me. It's like you know this guy are fucking you over, but you still sit there and enjoy it. You don't do anything about it. And then you look at Raila like Mandamano, that's the answer. Mandamano. Okay, I will not go into my usual rants today. I'm trying not to rant. Raila Odinga, part of it. Okay? There's no opposition. We don't have an opposition. By the way, let me ask this question. What happened to the bipartisan talks? Can somebody ask Kalonzo Musyoka? What happened to the bipartisan talks? Are they still going on? I have 9 minutes. Somebody tell me. Log in the chat. Bipartisan talks with Kimani Chungwa, Iron Chariot, Kalonzo Musyoka, Hassan somebody, and all those useless people who are there talking about nonsense in Bomas of Kenya. And they even have the audacity to ask for more money. Do we still have those talks? Or did anything change? Somebody update me on that. Because apparently those bipartisan talks were supposed to be national conversation. They were supposed to come up with a solution for Kenyans. Opening on the servers and all the nonsense that we know will not happen. Somebody update me. What happened to that? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, as I wrap up, we have a few more minutes. Let me wrap up. Sorry, I've been casting and everything, but sometimes you have to. As I wrap up, as I do what? As I wrap up. Let's see what else is going on. Regarding Gachagua, nothing is going on really. Chariot. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I have to prepare. Let me go watch the game between Manchester United and Bayern Munich. If you are watching this for the first time, find me on YouTube, Kenya Revolutionary. Again, once you find me, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, comment, okay? And tell me what you think. I will talk to you guys later. We've been 53 minutes. I don't have anything to add. So until my next live, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.